For us, that is a pure homicide case, because this is a human being that is alleged to have been killed. So we picked the body and deposited it in the mortuary, and of course formalities have to be done, and we are going to definitely charge him for murder, because that is a person that we are a body of a person that we are having that was killed. So this explanation, of course, we'll leave it up to the courts to go and decide whether his explanation suffices to what he's claiming as that could have transpired. So that is the case for that case in Masabomba.
In Mitukutu area in northwestern province, Solwezi to be precise, a man came up with a certain concoction to enhance his libido, and ended up drinking that same concoction and later died. Maybe just for the sake of our viewers and our listeners, bring us to speed on what really transpired and what really happened.
Yes, also in, like you have said, Mitukutu, in Solwezi, we have this gentleman who made a concoction and then took it, and then then he started complaining of stomach pains, went into the toilet. Unfortunately, he could not recover from there, and he became so weak. They tried to resuscitate him, but unfortunately he died. So we took the body to the mortuary as usual, and we are waiting to have conduct a post-mortem. And actually part of the concoction that he had made, we actually also have it as part of a exhibit which we can go to subject to medical, to food and drug for examination to ascertain what that could have been. Maybe just a word of caution that we want to remind members of the public that they should not be using unknown concoctions. You know that a combination of certain chemicals or substances can actually become poisonous. So people need to be very careful, especially as men. If you feel you want to use concoctions, please try by all means not to use them, because they may end up endangering your life or even actually make you lose your life.
All right, and the arrest of Chulufatali.
Okay.
We did see, and most of the people did watch what really transpired, because it was live on social media.
Yes, of course. We have actually in our custody. We apprehended and detained Mr. Chulufatali for the video that he posted, which borders on bringing the name of the president in disrepute. You are aware that the presidents in this land is protected by law, and anybody who contravenes or who tries to bring the name of the president in disrepute, there's a particular section for him or such a person not to do such a thing, because it's still law, in as much as there's this advocacy for repealing of that law, but that law still remains in force, and the law ought to be implemented as it is, not as it ought to be. So since that law is in force, anybody who commits that crime will be arrested and taken to court, because the law is to enforce. So members of the public should not think that that law, because they're talking of repealing it, then people can go ahead and start committing that offense. Not at all, because the law is to enforce. And as long as the law is to enforce, as police officers, we are in charge of enforcing the law. And that is the mandate you, the Zambian people, have given us. And we just have to do that. If the law is bad, repeal it. But as long as the law is to enforce, we have to enforce it, because that is what the mandate states for us as Zambia Police Service.
There was a huge cry from the media fraternity, the arrest of movie TV reporter Innocent and his camera person. Maybe what really transpired, and how did he find himself in such predicaments?
Of course, you know that when police are conducting operations, you need to give them space. Not necessarily that you're not supposed to cover the events, but there are certain things where you are supposed to conduct yourself in a lawful manner. Just like it is if people want to critique the president, you have to do it in a lawful manner. You don't need to bring the name of the president in disrepute, because if once you do that, then you are committing a crime, because it's there in the law. It's not that it's us, the police, that made these laws. No, these laws were made by Parliament, and these laws are enforced.
So what law did Innocent break?
Of course, his conduct was, of course, I'm sure if you followed the narration from, I don't want to maybe like try to put words in his mouth or in the council's mouth. The council made it very clear that they actually negotiated for an undertaking, because he was supposed to be charged for obstruction of a police officer on duty. Because when a police officer is doing his job, we don't need to obstruct him. Okay? People want to bring an issue, say, as if like police were trying to create an offense for him. No. And by the way, you are aware, I'm sure by now you are aware that he paid admission of guilt. So meaning we have secured the conviction actually as police. He was convicted for the offense that he was charged for. Okay, so we need to be careful when you are doing our work. It's not that even for me as a police officer, I can stand up and say, I come into the newsroom and say, I'm a policeman, I want to check what you are doing here because I'm a police officer. Because whatever you write may have a danger or maybe may bring despondency in the country. We need to know our boundaries. And no wonder why we have continuously engaged the media. If you remember very well, the other year we were even given an award by MISA. We have continuously engaged journalists because journalists at times think that they know it all, which is very unfortunate because you know the boundaries, just like it is in court. When the court is sitting, you cannot go there and, as a journalist, start writing. So no, I want to write a story about what is happening in the court. You have to seek permission. Okay. That's say I'm not saying that you should seek permission. Even us as police, we have certain operations that we do which may actually be a danger to yourself. If you are going to apprehend somebody, you don't know what is inside there. And if you go there and then somebody injured, because when the police are going to undertake an operation to get somebody, you need to understand that their focus is on getting that person. Because
But Mr. Hamonga, in developed countries, we do media houses working with law enforcers hand in hand.
Yes.
Even to war zones, we've seen media personnel covering such events. But what's so special about here in Zambia, where media houses or media personality are denied that privilege to inform the general public about the happenings?
No, it's not that we deny to inform the public what is happening. You know, you are talking of embargoed journalists. If you know you are going to accompany the police for an operation, there is a way you are supposed to dress. I'm sure you are aware of that. You need to be protected. You must have a vest gear, but you cannot just stand up from your house, come and say and join the police operation, because you will be injured. You'll be killed. You don't know what is there. Suppose there's a dog in there, you just jump in. Ask who can jump in there. Then I'm able to protect myself as a police officer. But you, if you are going to join the operation, it must be well organized. You don't just pitch up, like I was saying. You don't just pitch up.
Was he endangering his life in the arresting of Chulfatari when he went to Canada?
Of course, he was not part of the operation. Because what we do ourselves as police, when you're going for an operation, you do what is called an operation order. Okay? You know who's going to do what and who's supposed to do what. So you don't just jump in from nowhere. Even like I said, the same way, even if you want to cover a story in the courts, you need to apply to the courts, isn't it? You don't just go and say, I want to cover this story. No. You apply to the court, and the court will give you a leeway to be able to do that. But if you're just going to jump from somewhere...
I'll disagree a bit on that one. Okay. We do not apply to the court.
You do?
You go there to cover. No. But inside the court, you cannot film inside the court.
Yes, but even when you are covering, you notify the court of your covering. There are cases that you need to apply.
All right, today we look at aggravated, or we're talking about armed robbers. We've seen quite a number of incidences in Lusaka and other parts of the country, and the police is overwhelmed to deal with such cases. And my guest, like I mentioned earlier on, is the Zambia Police spokesperson, Mr. Ray Hamonga. And the number that we'll be using if you wish to take part on today's program is 07728 32122. The text line that we'll be using is 0978 770801. And those are the numbers. We did not conclude the recapping of the week. There was a capsized boat in Eastern Province where these young people went to film a video of their music that they did. Maybe just bring us to speed.
Yes, and that was a very unfortunate incident where a musician was trying to film a video for their footage. They were 4 in number. So when they was in the process of filming, the boat capsized, and the one who died actually, unfortunately, wasn't able to swim to the shore. But they raised money to swim to the shore. And this is why we want to just make also an earnest appeal that please, when you are doing some of these things, ensure that you do your proper planning. You do your planning well. If you are going to film, please ensure that you have life jackets so that you're able to, in case of a misadventure like that one, you're able to swim. Because you know, when you're not able to swim and then you run into the water, you have your shoes on, it's difficult. Even when you know how to swim, if you have your shoes on, it's difficult for you to swim. So that was a very unfortunate incident, of course, which could have been avoided if the people followed the safety rules. Because when you get on a boat, ensure that at least you have a life jacket, because that will help you to, in case to swim, in case you're not able to if the boat, in an eventuality the boat capsizes. So that was a very unfortunate incident. Also in Chipata, again, remember that we also received a case of defilement. Unfortunately, in this particular case, it was a pastor actually defiled a child. So that was a very unfortunate incident. There's a pastor called Emmanuel Yato, age 36, a pastor of Life and Resurrection Church, who was actually arrested for defilement. And the unfortunate part is that the matter actually happened at the house of the so-called pastor. Now, we have had these cases, I think, involving the so-called men of God, in inverted commas, because really they are not really men of God, because you don't expect a pastor that he can engage in such a manner, such a matter of, even as far as committing defilement, because these are people that the members, the congregants have trust in them, so they are abusing this trust. I'm sure you remember we also had cases in Luapula, almost a similar instance where somebody saying, no, I'm going to heal you, and then ended up doing other things. So please, parents, let's ensure that we do not take things for granted. These times around, you don't say, it's a man of God, no, go and pray for my daughter. No, it's at least let's have an adult female person to be in the midst of the prayers, because prayers cannot be stopped or cannot be heard by God if there's somebody else who is there.
Lastly, in Kabwata, the case of dissection of a child,
a baby.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was another unfortunate incident where a lady came to this other lady who was in advanced pregnancy, and asked to say, please, may I use your convenience? May I leave the child with you? Then she left the child there, and then she aborted. So that lady now remained with the child around 19 hours. So the following morning, which was yesterday around 9:30, she came to Kabwata police station, where she reported the matter, and the police received that child, and we have since given that child to social welfare, where it has been taken for safe custody.
All right, let's shift our attention. We've just done a recap of how the week has been for the Zambia Police Service in the last 7 days, and I'm sure you can hear and see it's been quite a busy week for the Zambia Police Service. This program looks at the mandate and the role of the Zambia Police Service, and today we look at armed robbery prevention. Maybe for starters, what is considered to be armed robbery?
Okay, when you talk of armed robbery, is where you find that somebody or a thief comes to your place and is armed with any implement that can cause a harm to you, and then he or she gets away with your property. Now, this is, I think, it's good. It's important that we explain that anything that is capable of causing harm to you, it could be even a thing as small as even a screwdriver or anything, even a stick. If he comes to you and then he threatens you to that, can you give me this thing or else I'll injure you. So that is basically what is called armed robbery or aggravated robbery, in fact.
What is the difference between armed robbery and aggravated robbery?
Well, it's just basically the one and the same thing, but in our statutes, I think we have aggravated robbery. We don't call it armed robbery because that's what is there in our statutes. So it's basically this aggravated robbery, which we normally call aggravated robbery, because this is where you are using force to get something from a person. So it could be by way of using an implement or anything just to get that thing from that person, or even a fire.
Okay.
So that is actually what is called aggravated robbery, or normally other countries call it armed robbery.
How would you describe or rate the performance of the Zambia Police Service as compared to the last quarter? Maybe let's just take, for instance, last year, in terms of preventing these cases.
Well, I think we are still doing fairly good, but we would like to do more than what we are doing, because you know, as the population grows, you expect also the crime rate to go up, because for the simple reason that there's a economic expansion. People are building up and coming up with all sorts of businesses, and because of the population, there's high volume of business, and people are getting more money than they used to get the other years. But so far so good. We are still faring well, and want to appeal to the public that this success cannot only be attributed to the police or let the police to be able to be a success. We need to work together. When we're talking about crime fighting, we are talking of only two sides: criminals on the other side, police on the other side. Policing is all about defending of human rights. So police officers are there to defend the human rights of each and every person in society. So when members of the public work hand in hand with the police, they are helping in the defense of human rights. So we want to appeal to the public that it's either you're with the police or you're with the criminals. So once you work with us, you are actually feathering the defense of human rights, even your rights as well. And we are simply saying, please give us information. That is all we're asking for you to work with us. At least give us information relating to criminal activities that you are seeing in your locality. You know them, even as I'm talking now, they know what is happening in the locality, but they are not talking about it. Come to the police secretly, give us that information. Of course, we even as police, we have our own ways of finding information through you members of the public. But those of you that have that information readily available, please channel to the nearest police station, and you can mention, if you don't want to be mentioned, you can make it mention to them very clearly that I don't want to be mentioned in any way, but the information I have is this, and we'll use that information secretly and for the success of that operation or safety in your locality.
Let's engage our viewers and our listeners out there. Remember, this is an interactive program where you are able to get in touch with us via our message line, which is 078-772-801, and our live call number is 077-2832-122. That's 077-2832-122. Wherever you are, let's hear what you would want to share with us. And we seem to have somebody on the line. You're live on Security Corner. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, Jeff calling up from Kalulu.
You're calling us from Kalulushi.
Hello, good morning.
Geoffrey, reduce the volume on your set. Kindly do us a favor by reducing the volume on your set.
Yes,
Geoffrey, do us a favor.
Hello, my question is going to the spokesperson, Mr. Leamonga.
Yes, Geoffrey.
I just want to find out from him. Is it in the law, if someone got money from a certain person, like this money Kalova issue, if that person take you to a police, and thereafter, most of the cases, the police, they will look up that person to say, you obtain money by force printing. So I just want to be clear from the spokesperson.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Geoffrey. I'm sure you have another question.
I think this question can.
All right, let's accommodate other viewers and callers, as many as possible. So let's restrict ourselves to one question. Let's see if we do have another call on 07728322122, and the text message line is 0978772801. You're live on Security Corner. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Kitty. I'm Nathan.
Nathan, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I'm calling from Kitty. I'm Mr. Nathan.
Go ahead with your question. The problem is your television or radio set is on. The volume is too loud.
Okay, my question goes direct to the police spokesperson.
All right, we need to cut that call because you are not following the instructions. You consume a lot of time if your volume is too loud on your set. Make sure that you turn down the volume on your gadget. That's the only way we'll be able to communicate. Once we get feedback, my technician will be able to drop those calls. You're live on Security Corner. Hello, good morning. Your name and where calling us from? Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Your name and where calling us from?
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello. You are talking to Mr. Goodson Jerry.
Mr. Jerry, where are you calling us from? Go ahead with your
Hello.
question. All right.
Yes. I stay in Chunga.
You stay in Chunga. Just reduce the volume on your set, Mr. Joffrey.
Now police is working. Yeah, the police manja pa vasevenza apa. Yeah, the police vasevenza. Ndio supposed kuweka kwa tikazunguluka usiku tipeza wa police vasunguluka up and down. Yaina kusevenza, so continuous to work like that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate. Let's accommodate another caller. Those are kudos coming from within Lusaka. Let's accommodate another caller, and then Mr. Ray will be able to respond to your questions or contribution. Remember, the number that we're using is 077 283 2122. You're live. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Douglas.
Douglas, where are you calling us from?
From the police. If we maybe say something.
Hello?
Yes. Are you getting me?
Yeah, we are getting you. Proceed with your question or contribution.
Yes. Say something.
Douglas, your line is not very clear. Unfortunately, it should be the network issue there. But if you have the capacity to call us again, feel free on 0772832122. So Douglas, if you're able to call us again, let me accommodate text message, Ms. Hamonga, before you respond. And this one reads, good morning, Ms. Hamonga. The police have done a recommendable job to arrest Mr. Tarali, for it has been on many occasions that he has commented wrongly against the head of state. Go ahead our police service, Mr. Mwiwa Alan, all the way from Mungu. We appreciate Mr. Alan. I think I do have somebody on the line. You live on Security Corner. Your name and tell us where you're calling us from.
Hello, my name is Kelly.
Your name again?
Kelly.
Mr. Piri, where are you calling us from?
Yes, I want to ask the Mr.
Where are you calling us from?
The police to beat the suspect.
Where are you calling us from?
The police to beat the suspect.
We want to know where you're calling us from.
Kitwe.
Thank you so much, Mr. Perry. All right, maybe you can quickly respond to those three concerns. I know the other one was a kudo for you from within Osaka.
Yes, thank you very much. And think there is a question from Mr. Geoffrey from Kalulushi requesting or asking, say, is it lawful for police officers to apprehend somebody who's gotten money through Kalova? Now, when you go to somebody to say, I want to get money from you and I'll pay it back on a particular date. Today is the what? 16th. You say, I'll pay the money on the 16th of November. So when you get money, for us in law, it's not that we're looking at whether it's Kalova or whatever. The mere fact that you get something from somebody and then you do not retain as you had agreed. Once that period elapses, then that becomes the obtaining money by false pretenses. Okay? Because you have told somebody that I'll give you this money on this particular day. Between the time of getting the money up to the period when you're supposed to return the money, there's no offense there. Once that time elapses, you start saying, no, at the funeral, at law, it becomes, you use a fake thing. Because you, when you are saying that I'll give you back money on the 16th of November, you knew what you're going to have done. So between that period of getting the money up to the period when you are supposed to return the money, you must ensure that you fulfill your promise. Because once you don't do that, it means you have cheated the other person. Okay. So that is that about that. So please, let's not run away from the fact that when you get something from somebody, you should be able to return it. Because once you don't return it, that is falsehood. Because you cheated that person that I'll give you money on this particular day. And you should honor that promise. Suppose you not run away from the fact that they cheated that person. Because between that period you got the money, up to the time you promised to bring back the money, there's no offense there. And that's what that person is waiting. So on that particular day, that person what he's waiting for to see is the money. If he comes to the police to complain, then it means it becomes falsehood because you promise yourself on your own. And mind you, when you are promising, the police is not there. The two of you are agreeing, and it's you actually who is making that undertaking that I will do this. So it's just like even like a breach of contract. Okay? So that's what it is. So if you get something, now when you commit yourself by getting this money or even anything, and say you promise to return on that particular, if you don't do that, the law will kick in. Even you when you get a loan from the bank, if you don't honor to say I'll pay this loan by this day, then don't honor, they engage bailiffs, isn't it? And they'll come and get your property, seize them, auction them, and sell them.
Let's move to the...
So the other question is, I want to just maybe to explain, because people think because it's money and maybe they think that police have interest. No. I want to just explain so that people understand this thing very well. Because like I've said, even the bank do that. If you get a loan, you don't prefer to pay, they will engage bailiffs, they'll come and seize. And they even come to police to get police to go and execute the Then Mr. Jerry from Chunga says police are Jerry, yes, at times we are rarely appreciated as police. Even when people sleep, we pass through their house, they're not seeing us. The following morning wakes up, someone says, no, the police is not working. We appreciate, and this is the way we're supposed to go. Please, let's work together. If we work like this, we support the police, all the criminal elements will be gotten rid in our society. Then the police have done a community job to arrest Mr. Chirufya. Well, of course, we are enforcing the law. Like I said, the law ought to be enforced as it is because it's still enforced. So if somebody insults the president, we have no option but to arrest him because the law is there, which you are going to prosecute him for. Then, is police allowed to beat a suspect? Very good. Police are allowed to use minimum force. Okay? If, for instance, we go to apprehend you and then you are resisting, why do you think those long buttons are there for us? It's for us to use. Why is the tear gas there? It's for us to use. But we don't use it unnecessarily, but we use it according to the situation on the ground. That's why even in the law itself, it is defined as minimum force. A firearm can also be used as minimum force. Tear gas can also be used as minimum force. Even a slap can be used as a minimum force. Even what? Sorry, not a slap. A long button. That long button that we use, we can use it as minimum force to manage to contain you, so that you comply to the arrest. But if you don't resist, there will be no need for you to use that long button, because the long button is used to hit you in the joints. Okay, like on your knee or on your elbow, just to disturb you. But if you comply, there will be no need for that.
All right, let's accommodate a set of 3 calls, and Mr. Hamonga will be able to respond to those questions or contributions. You're live on Security Corner. Your name and tell us where you're calling us from. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Malaka calling you from Maninga district, Northwestern.
Mr. Malaka, just be brief with your question or contribution. The problem with you, Mr. Malaka, is the feedback that we're getting. We'll be forced to drop that call.
Yes, my concern is on the corruption issue, where you find that a laborer has been to pay an amount by an officer in favor of employment. You may find that this laborer has even given something close to maybe to 5,000 or so, but the employment is not given to that person. Comes to the police, who is at fault? Is it the one man or that officer who has collected that money?
Thank you so much, Mr. Malaka, for your contribution. And the number that we're using is 0772.
That question, I didn't get it.
It's talking about an issue to do with corruption, where an officer has asked for some money, and the money is paid. What he wants to find out, who has committed an offense. Is it the person who has paid and the job has not been given to that person, or it's the other way around? We have somebody on the line. You're live on Security Corner. Your name and tell us where you're calling us from. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and just be brief with your question, sir.
We are talking to El Kangma from Kapim Posh.
Edgar.
Yes, Kapim Posh.
From Kapirim Poshi. Go ahead, Mr. Edgar.
Yes, I'm talking Tonga now. So, twanda kurumbako bahamonga manje kapolisi balibereke tanguzu. Not that tola muntu amuta kupolisi na orankongoye wakutoka mbwena mwabeti. So, bantu banji bajinta. So, twarumba maniki kuba polisi balibereke tanguzu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Edgar, for your contribution. I'm sure some kudos there are coming your way as Zambia Police Service. Let me push in a few text messages that we've received, Ms. Hamonga. Then I hope you'll be able to note the text messages that we have. Good morning, sir. For me, it's just a concern. Some officers who passed out last year. Okay, this one, I need to go back to text message. Okay, I've lost that line. Good morning, sir. My concern, officer who passed out last year, December, are not getting full salaries. What's your say on this one, sir? All right, hope you're taking note. The other one reads, okay, somebody needs help. Put his name there, Michael from Solwezi, but he hasn't given us the reason why. He just wrote, I need help. Okay. This other text message reads, Good morning, Ms. Hamong. I like the way you respond to issues. However, we still have some traffic officers in Solwezi, Kayama, to be specific, mounting roadblocks. Okay. Hope you. That's Kawama. That's Kawama, their area. The other text message reads, make sure that you're brief with your text messages. If you write a long text message, it's quite tricky for me to read and exhaust all your thoughts there. Good morning, Ms. Hamonga. I like the way you respond. Okay, I've read this one concerning traffic officers in Solwezi. The other one reads, good morning, Ms. Hamonga. We appreciate the action you have taken for police officers to protect citizens from the so-called junkies who took advantage of innocent people in almost all the areas of Lusaka specifically. And this is coming from no name there. We appreciate. Okay, let's push in another caller and Ms. Hamonga will be able to respond. You're live on Security Corner. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Just be brief with your question or contribution. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Just be brief with your question. We don't have enough time.
This is Mulya from Kabul. I want to ask the spokesperson. The patrol they are doing in Kabul are not inadequate. We have junkies here. So I don't know what you are doing about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Issue to do with junkies and patrols there. The other text reads, good morning. My question is, how many days should one or someone stays in cells who has been arrested for Shishita and Maxwell Simfukwe from Kasama? All right, I hope you've taken note of that question all the way from Kasama. This one is a long text message coming from saying, the Zambia Police Service spokesperson, help me, I lost my grade 12 results in 2018 and I've given money to a lady who is a lecturer at the university since I was unable to go to ECZ. Since 2018, this woman is dodging me and she doesn't want to give me a certificate or money so that I go on my own to get my certificates. What should I do? That's a concern there. Good morning. Kindly consider asking if it's lawful for the police to arrest someone without evidence proven in the courts of law. Sometimes police officers beat the suspect minus evidence. Richard from Courtyard. Another caller. Let's see if we do have somebody on the line and Mr. Hamonga will be able to respond to those questions that you've raised. We have somebody on the line. You're live on Security Corner. Your name and tell us where you're calling us from. Hello, good morning. All right, we've lost that caller there. We're looking at armed robbery prevention, and my guest is the Zambia Police spokesperson, Mr. Ray Hamonga. As you respond to those questions, what are some of crimes or cases are linked to armed robbery?
Well, of course, armed robbery, like it is the issue of people, of course, most cases having an illegal firearm, which they use to commit these crimes on. So illegal firearms actually are a source of armed robberies because nobody would use his firearm, which is illegal, which he owns legally for committing such crimes. So the most probable cause of these crimes is illegal firearms. So if you know somebody who's owning a firearm illegally, please inform us as police so that we can quickly get rid of that firearm before that firearm actually can even be used to endanger your life yourself. So please, let's not wait for these things until we become victims of crime.
Can trespassing lumped on a person who has committed an offense related to robbery?
Sorry, come again?
Trespass.
Trespass? No, what do you mean by saying can it be lumped on somebody?
Can it be linked?
Linked? Well, no, because
for one to commit, they need to enter somebody's property.
Yes, the issue is because look at what happens is this: if somebody comes in your home with a firearm to come and steal, we will not charge such a person for criminal trespass, for the simple reason that he has committed a greater offense, which is armed robbery itself. Okay? So this is how we look at things. So we can't, when it comes to the house, we will not charge you for criminal trespass because criminal trespass is negligible as compared to aggravated robbery.
But we've heard certain cases where it's been reduced to trespass.
No, it depends, because when and reducing is not necessarily that it's just reduced for the sake of reducing. No, if somebody, of course, if you're armed with a firearm, you enter in somebody's home and you don't steal, that's why maybe we can talk about issues of criminal trespass, because you didn't steal, you are just found in that particular place. Okay, but where you steal, it cannot be criminal trespass. Maybe they can actually be criminal trespass and also even aggravated robbery as well, depending on the circumstances. Okay. Now let me quickly respond to the question. There was the issue of Mr. Malaka from Maninga, issue of corruption. He says if somebody gives money to an officer who has committed an offense. Now, if the officer accepts that money.
This is similar to the question that we had on a text message where somebody gave money to a lecturer at some university.
But I'm wondering how come somebody wants a grade 12 certificate is talking about giving money to a lecturer at the university, because as far as I'm concerned, unless he says he gave money to somebody at a ECZ, okay, let me just marry the two. So like in this case where somebody gives money to an officer to say maybe wants employment, now it depends on the integrity of the officer. If the officer accepts that money, it means the officer has committed the offense of what? Corruption himself. He's accepted a bribe. Okay? Now, if the person who has given that money goes to report that I gave that person for him to do this thing, then it means the officer now will be what? Prosecuted. You understand? So it's either way. If the officer reports, then it means that person who gave the officer will be charged for corrupting a public officer. So it borders on integrity of somebody. But again, also, if somebody knows about that transaction and reports, then it means those two can be arrested and prosecuted. Okay, if that is the case. Then Edgar from Kapiri, thank you, police. You are working very hard, and we have seen that people have stopped now cheating us in terms of credits. He's actually saying that yes, the police is working when somebody gets money from somebody and then return the money when they are arrested. Because of that, they have now stopped. Because you know these people also who get money at times, they're just swindlers. They want just to get money out from people who are hard working for this money. I mean, had earned money. Because you see, like I said earlier on, if you get something wrong, make sure you honor it. If you are saying you'll bring the money on Tuesday, take the money back. Don't wait for us to start for the person who has helped you to come to the police and start complaining. Okay, then some people some officers that passed out, they are still on half salary. This is an administrative issue. We do not discuss administrative issues on the air. They can come to the office. They know what office which to go to. They can go to the office of the staff officer. They'll be able to handle this matter amicably. Still have traffic officer in Kayama voluntarily manning roadblocks. Okay, in Kanyama in Solwezi, we have heard. We ensure that if that is really happening, we're able to sort out this issue, because at times we know people bringing out names of officers that are hardworking, because an officer maybe finds you with a vehicle which has nothing on the screen. You don't have a license and you don't have fitness, and then when they arrest you, then you jump on the ante, you start saying no, that officer is very corrupt. No, we know some of these things, but however, we institute investigation to see whether these allegations are true or not. But as far as we are concerned, there's a ministerial directive that officers should not be able to man snap checkpoints in the business center area or central business areas of the towns. Action taken on junkies, especially in Lusaka. Okay, thank you very much. We are appreciating our works. Please, let's continue working together. Let's cooperate for the good of all of us. Patrols that the police are doing are meant to ensure that our areas are gotten rid of criminal enemies and not to harass any member of the public. So once we work together, we have free societies. Do you know that? Please, let's also remind people that there are other countries where you can even sleep and leave something outside. You find it the following day, it won't be stolen. So even us, we can do that. Let's put our efforts together to ensure that we face the criminals squarely. Okay. Then Mulaya from Kawe, patrols doing the area. Please, we need the junkies. Okay, we have taken note. We inform our commanders on the ground in Kawe that please, residents there, they're complaining of junkies. But even Mr. Mulaya, please, there's nothing wrong for you to go to any nearest police station and mention the areas where these junkies are found, so that the police can take action on that. Okay. How long should somebody stay in custody for shishita? Now, if you have been charged for a contravention, okay, and then you are told to pay the sum fee which is required for admission of guilt, and then you don't pay that money, then that's not the problem with the police. So it means you'll be there until you pay that money. Okay? So this depends on the person who has been charged. If he pays the money, there and then you'll be relieved. Okay, but of course, at least the minimum somebody should at least, you cannot stay beyond 24 hours. So when you're taken there, within 24 hours, you're supposed to take you to court. So if you stay there and then you don't pay the admission of guilty.
How much is admission of guilty?
54 kwacha.
54 kwacha.
Yes. So if you're not paying that money, you will be there.
Which area is the most targeted by these armed robbers, according to your records at Zambia Police Service?
Well, of course, it's the where crime is committed where there's something to be stolen, like armed robbery. Armed robbers normally they target cash, money which is in cash form. That's what they normally target at. Because when they know that there's some money somewhere, someone is keeping money in the home, that's why they'll go to. Business areas, some businessmen, they are so careless that they leave their homes, go with a stack of cash to their homes. And you find that maybe they will just wait for them at the gate and enter the cash. Even with the advancement of technology where you can actually deposit money even after hours. Banks have gone a step further to even have ATMs where you can deposit your money. You can walk to, when you walk to an ATM, deposit your money manually there. It goes. You can deposit money. But some businessmen want to move with a stack of money, go to the home, and unfortunately they are attacked. And you see, what they are forgetting is that when they are counting that money, there are a lot of people that they are workers, and even tell the armed robbers, no, now we're moving the money to our home, please follow us. So people, please, business, and we are actually heading towards the festival season now. We know that there's a high volume of business that is going on now. We want to encourage business owners to please try by all means to use electronic way of transaction in terms of paying money. Let's use let's encourage people to use Airtel money, Momo, or Zamtel, or even cards. Let's have points of sale machines so that people can just swipe. You don't have the actual money, so that you don't have this risk of moving around the cash.
So
but in an instance where
Lusaka is stopping, I asked that question because I wanted to know which part of the country.
Well, of course, Lusaka will top because of the population that we have. Yes, Lusaka is topping, but of course we have seen it even happen in outskirts of Lusaka. Just like last week, we had an armed robbery which happened, a great robbery which happened in Nakonde, where a businessman lost 400,000 kwacha and $2,000. Okay, criminals went and snatched that money because he was moving from his shop to his house. When he just reached at his place, they had ambushed him there and got out the money with his car. But fortunately for the car, it was actually recovered or found abandoned by the same criminals. So we want to appeal to the businessmen, please, let's try by all means to use electronic type of transaction so that we don't have the physical cash at the time. It must be at the barest minimum when you're going to have cash.
Let's accommodate one more call as we wind up, because the program ends at 09:25 and we do have live calls coming your way. You're live on Security Corner. Your name and tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Kindly tell us your name and where you're calling us from. All right, we've lost that caller.
I think I had two more questions which I didn't respond.
Okay, you will be able to respond as we wind up the program.
Thank you.
Let's accommodate a caller also on the number 07728322122. You're live. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from. Kind of distorted there. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, talking to Mavis, and I'm calling from Chisamba.
Mavis, you're our first female caller for today. How's Chisamba this morning?
Thank you so much. I wanted to ask on a case of where you are being found over a job. Then where do you report? Is it to Victor or to the police?
When you're found with, we missed the first part.
Sorry?
We missed the first part. Come again.
In a case where you're found over a job, where do you report? Is it at the police station or maybe Victor?
Thank you so much, Mavis. Mr. Hamonga will be able to respond to your concern there. Let me push in another caller on 07728322122. You're live on Security Corner. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, tell us your name and where you're calling us from. All right, unfortunately, we're unable to have that line. It's quite a bad line there. I'm sure you've taken note of Mavis'
Sure.
concern. And in an instance where you find yourself in an aggravated robbery, or maybe you're being ambushed by these robbers, what are the do's and the don'ts as you respond to the
Okay.
two questions that we had earlier on, coupled it up with Mavis?
Okay, thank you very much. Once you have been approached or attacked by somebody who's armed, please comply to the directives of such a person. For the simple reason that when somebody, these people, when they are approaching you or attacking you, they have got very little time and they are ready to do anything that may even endanger your life. So you're better off when they demand for something, quickly surrender whatever you have to them, for the simple reason that whatever you own is worth more than, it's not worth more than your life. So what is at stake there is your life. So you need, as by all means, to protect your life as much as possible. So if they demand for something, quickly give them so they go. Because if the more you hold them, the more they are likely to injure you terribly or even kill you. So please, if you are approaching somebody who's armed, is demanding, bring the car keys, do not hesitate. Of course, you can look at the person. Is he really? We had a case where somebody was attacked, and then he looked at the firearm, saw the firearm had no magazine, and then he responded. But if you're not sure, please do not try to resist, because your life is at risk at that particular time.
Is it advisable to look the attacker straight in the eyes? Because I've heard stories where people have been beaten up and killed because somebody mistakenly said, "I know you."
Yes, that is very dangerous. If you are going to look them in their face, you should try by all means to avoid eye contact. If you're going to look at them, try by all means to do it without them looking at you, because once you have eye contact, most likely they can kill you, because they know that you have not gotten their identity, because they don't want them you to know them, and they don't want you to waste their time, because once you try to resist, they will use all force, because they mind you their target is to get what they want from you. So the more you delay, the more force they're going to use on you. So what is important to note here, that once you are attacked by someone who's armed, what is at stake is your life. So you need to protect your life at all costs.
Let's respond.
Yeah, the issue of Mavis, where do you report? Mavis, you report to the police. ZICTA, yes, we work in conjunction with ZICTA to help us unearth or track or trace back who could have robbed from you. But the matters are supposed to report it to the police. Of course, there are certain things that you report to the police. ZICTA, like for instance, if you know, like now they have put a number where you dial *70#. If somebody is sending you unsolicited messages, you can dial that number and then report such a number through that code, *707#. It's a ZICTA number which is developed in conjunction with the service provider. So once you see a number sending messages about, maybe send the money here, you know what you need to do yourself. You report it yourself, because it's you who's receiving it, because they need to check whether for sure that number is coming to your phone number. So you need to dial it yourself. Don't come to the police and I've come to the police number. No, dial it on your phone, on your handset, so it can go and be reported. Then is it lawful to arrest someone without evidence? Well, when you are arresting somebody as police, it means we have evidence relating to that crime. So when you go to court, of course, at times when you go to court, the court may think otherwise, but we don't arrest somebody without evidence, because there's a cause for us to arrest somebody. Okay. Then somebody who lost a certificate in 2018, and this woman is dodging him. Well, there are simple ways. It depends how you agreed with this person. Were you giving her that money to say, go and pay for me at the examination council, I get my certificate? Or were you giving her money as part of inducement that she does the job for you? So what you can do is, like I've said, if you gave her money to say, go and pay for you, and then she didn't pay, go to the police and report, because that is obtainable by false pretense. Okay. Then of course she has stolen the money from you, because she has not done what you had agreed. Then if you are paying him as an inducement, it's unfortunate if you are doing it as an inducement to induce her to do that work, because all what you need to do yourself, examination council, you need to go there and I know when you go there, you go and pay and do all the requirements that are required, so that you get your certificate. It's just as open as that.
As we come to the end of today's Security Corner, Ms. Hamonga, what could be your concluding remarks regarding the armed robbery prevention as our topic?
The concluding remark that I want to leave the listeners with, or the take-home message, is that we need cooperation from you, members of the public. Give us information, report any criminal suspicious looking persons in your locality. Do not wait until you are a victim of a crime. If you see anybody in your locality that is involved in criminal activities, please report them to us, Zambia Police, so that we can move in, investigate, and arrest such persons. It's only when you, members of the public, work with us at the police together, we fight crime. Like I said, it's either you're with us or you're against us. So which side do you want to belong to? Do you want to belong to the side of the criminals, or you want to belong to the side of the police? The best side to lean to is the side of the police, because policing is all about the defending of human rights. Do not wait until your human rights are violated before you can work with us, Zambia Police Service.
Ms. Hamonga, it's always a pleasure having you on Security Corner, and wishing you all the best as you continue serving the Zambian people and safeguarding their property.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the gesture that you give us as Zambia Police Service to come and sensitize the public whom we love so much as Zambia Police Service to protect.
We'll be back next week as we look at another interesting topic on Security Corner. My guest was the Zambia Police Service spokesperson, Ms. Hamonga, and my name is Paulson Tindovi. On sign language interpreter has been Chola. On behalf of the entire production crew, and indeed not forgetting you, our viewers and our listeners out there, for your time. We'll be back next week on Tuesday. God bless and stay safe, and continue watching Parliament Television.
Thinking CR7, Messi and Mbappe. What we mean is we're looking for goats. GoTV has hidden goats all over your city. To find out what to do once you find them, visit the GoTV social media pages and stand a chance to win crazy prizes or the ultimate grand prize, an actual goat. Then catch every crazy moment of all 64 games of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 live on SuperSport on GoTV. Love it.
You must focus. Block all distractions.
You have always taught me to give all I can in whatever I do. I will come back home.
You must focus, because things are not going to get any easier. In fact, they're going to become more difficult. And you have a house full of men who not only know how to distract themselves with your family's hard-earned money. Remember, Matilda, all you have is yourself. That is all you must remember. Halita.
Thinking CR7, Messi and Mbappe. What we mean is we're looking for goats. GoTV has hidden goats all over your city. To find out what to do once you find them, visit the GoTV social media pages and stand a chance to win crazy prizes or the ultimate grand prize, an actual goat. Then catch every crazy moment of all 64 games of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 live on SuperSport on GoTV. Love it.
It's a brand new month with brand new shows. Add some drama to your life with a young convict as he seeks redemption alongside a group of fearless firefighters.
Work hard, you do what I tell you, you'll reduce your sentence, you go home to your friends and your family sooner.
Revel in this dramatized docuseries about the legends of Wall Street and their enigmatic rise to power.
I come here today with an important message. Greed is healthy.
Bear witness to the real-life hair problems of a group of patients and the 4 doctors intent on helping them.
I'm a woman with a beard. All I wanted to do was be a normal teenager.
Dive into gripping documentaries that explore Africa's most beautiful landscapes and animals.
This is their home.
Yeah, this is their real home.
And kick it up with the kids as MK embarks on an epic journey to save the world.
And you're next on my list.
Get all the brand new shows in one place by staying connected to DSTV.
All words have meaning to the nation. Stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free. It must be taught to all our young people, to all our people in Zambia, each in various languages, and in those languages, the meaning, those in leadership